video. So here we go. My question is, have you taken on your first music student yet, teaching privately? Maybe you have a couple. With your first music student, are you feeling like you got this down, or are you still feeling like maybe it's a little complicated and you're not quite sure what to do? This video, I'm going to talk about some things that you can set up for your first couple of lessons that are going to make you real comfortable and your new student real comfortable. So get ready. Here we go. The motto for this channel, Music Teacher Mentor, the reason why I came up with that name is I'm here to help new music teachers who want to teach lessons from out of their house, who've never done it before, get some coaching, get some help. And that's what this whole thing is about. And the motto is, if you play, you can teach what you know. In one of my last videos, I talked about, actually in a couple of the last videos, I've been talking about mini lessons. I suggest that if you've got a younger student, that you break your music lessons into maybe 10-minute sections. You want to keep the lesson moving to keep a person's interest. Guys, if you want to check out more on mini lessons, go up here. I'll post a couple of links. Go to the playlist and go down through the playlist. I think I've got pretty good titles, and you can look at those videos and find out more about what I'm talking about with these mini lessons. I'm not going to tell a story today. I think I want to make this video be very short. So we're going to get right into the mission, right into your homework now. First thing I want you to do is, up here is a green ad. I kind of put it together real fast in CorelDRAW. I want you to use the green ad that's going to be up there somewhere as an example. Go into an art program, write it out by hand, make it colorful. And the very first thing I want you to do, even if you don't have any students yet, is post that on your Facebook. Print it off in color. Make them small. Make them kind of like that. I'm thinking about that big, on kind of a heavier paper. And I want you to start posting these things around town. Even if you don't have a student yet, just get off of your butt and do it. You're going to make some money teaching lessons. You can create a second income stream. It's a good way to either have teaching lessons be a side hustle, you get good at it like I was, and you make a very good living teaching. That's what this whole channel is about. Once you get a couple of those printed off, I want you to go to the farmer's market, see if they'll allow you to post one at a farmer's market. Go to your church, go to your school, hand out a bunch of these to your teachers at school. I want you to have a stack of these things in your car, so when there's an opportunity, you've just got them already ready to go in your car. Have a roll of tape and some push pins and, on the Safeway bulletin board. I'm trying to think of some other places you can post these things. If there are any downtown kiosks, I know for many years, my husband and I, we lived in Bisbee, and they had huge big poles, and everybody would post their notices and their ads, and you tape them up, and that's how down in Bisbee I was getting lots of students, because people would see those marketing materials on the kiosk. If you have a Boys and Girls Club, go ask them if they'll allow you to do that. Maybe the local music store will allow you to do that. It could be an opportunity for you, if they know that you're teaching, that they offer you a job, which is fine if you want to, have them be pulling in more students for you, but you'll make more money teaching privately in your home. And don't pay for an ad in the paper. Don't even go there yet. That's really not necessary. Okay, so that was step one. Start posting some ads around town, around your community. Here is number two. Start thinking about designing your teaching space. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I'm going to give you a list right now of some very cheap investments that you can buy to get your studio space looking real good. Number one, go out and buy yourself a music lamp. Okay, I'm going to show you. Hold on here. Go. Go and buy yourself a music lamp. See that? I bought this. I don't know if the flag is on the right side. I'm going to turn it this way. Go and buy yourself one of these. This cost $8 on Amazon. I've got a couple of them that I'm using as backgrounds here. They're a little bit bright for filming, but this is real fun for a student when they come in to your teaching space and you've got one of these on. Buy yourself one of these. $8. Go get yourself a sturdy music stand, not one of these little wiry things that flop around. Go get yourself a sturdy music stand. They can be a little pricey. Why don't you head over to your local church and see if they have any that they don't want? All you need is one. Ask them. Say, can I have one of these music stands? Maybe they'll have one that's busted up and you can fix it. Here's another way to invest in yourself so you feel very, very ready when your first students are coming to the house. Go get yourself 2 3-ring binders, hardback binders. You want one for yourself so you can organize your music materials, and then you want 1 or 2 so when your first student comes in, just give them one. It'll cost you, what, $8 or $9. Let me show you. Here it is, hardback. You don't want one of those flimsy ones because when you open it up on the music stand, it'll all flop and fold over on you, so you don't really want that. And then, along with that, get yourself, see these? I know this seems really basic. It is basic, but you're learning how to be a teacher. I get them distracted and away from themselves, and I get their book. Make sure it's got this little plastic piece. I get their book. See this? I sneak in a song that we didn't talk about. And then when they're getting ready to go home, parents coming to the door to pick them up, see that? There's a song in there. So I'm going to put the PDF to this in the video description. So what I'll do is I'll hand them the book like this. I'll make sure I hand them the book so they don't see it. They walk out, and by the time they get in the car, they're looking down at their book and they go, oh, Surfin' USA by the Beach Boys. I do tricks and stuff. I insert fun things in folders that they're not expecting, which makes it very exciting for them to come to Miss Lisa's house because they know something crazy is gonna happen. All right. So that's that on that. Let me look and see what else I've got. Here's another idea. Go get yourself like a little plastic bowl, about like that, a little plastic bowl that you can see through. Go to the music store and spend the money and go buy 40 picks. Get all the colors, get all the sizes, stick those picks in that bowl, and then on the little table, the little side table that you've got where you've got your this fancy little light, that thing, put the bowl kind of next to it. It's kind of like a sneaky thing to do, and you'll notice a student looking over there. They look, and they see that. Guys, let me show you some fun stuff I do with my students. I always have a end table with some fun props. I like to give my music students gifts. So there's, you can see the dog. This is a little glass jar of picks. So what I'll do with the student will be sitting around and I'll say, hey, take a look at this. And I'll pour them out on the table. And then we spread it all around. And I'll say, do you want one of these picks? Now, if I have a student that I find is real special, I will sometimes have one of these. These are real cheap. It's a little pick holder, and I'll give them that, and they can pick their choice of pick if they like that. I also have these. This is really fun. Let me turn it around. See if I can do it with one hand. Snap it open. And then I got a fun little pick holder. Stick a couple of these pretties inside there and give it to a child. This is about creating fond memories. They go home with a present and feel real good about their lessons. Here's another really fun thing. I collect all this stuff. Little fun container. They can choose a couple picks and stick them in the container and go home. I like having a lot of different kinds of picks. These ones are puppies. This little pink one's real pretty. A lot of kids like skulls. If you have a favorite band, I'm always collecting picks. If you have a favorite band, maybe Taylor Swift picks. I did have the pick of Destiny for a while. It was a great, big, huge pick that was kind of a funny joke. But look at how pretty they are. And students just love being able to choose and take one of these home. So maybe somebody sees one they like and they say, oh, I like that one. And then they go home with Fido. Over and out. I like doing that. I like giving them the choice to pick the color of the pick that they want. It doesn't matter if it's thin or medium or hard, whatever pick they like. I also do this. Sometimes with a guitar student, they look away right before they put their guitar away, and I'll stick a pick right up by the nut on the by the headstock, and I'll slip it under the strings. So when they get home and they go to play, the whole thing goes, and they're looking around. They go, what's wrong with my guitar? And then they look a little harder. They might even be so freaked out that they call me and say, at least my guitar's not working anymore. And I go, take a look at the nut, and there's a pick that I have snuck in between the strings. Just as a little fun little trick. These are all things I want you to do. I want you to have them ready before you take your first student. If you've got a couple of students right now, get it going, take care of it. Next time they come in, you're going to have all these props. You know, we're musicians after all, right? Musicians are colorful. We're kind of crazy. We're a little bit animated. I mean, not all musicians are, but I am on stage. I'm pretty animated. Now, my husband, he's a very, very good guitar player. He's a little bit more reserved. He stays back a little bit, but the way he plays is very animated. So if you have your studio looking really hot and fun and exciting, it's just going to make people talk about you and refer you to somebody else that they know. The word of mouth's going to get around. A kid that you're working with is going to say, you know, Miss Lisa's fantastic. And the next thing you know, you've got 5 students. Here's one last thing I want you to do. I know this sounds really petty too, but it makes a big difference to people coming in your home. Go get yourself one of those little plug-in wall air fresheners. I know that seems stupid. Plug it in kind of by the front door. So when a student comes in, a parent comes in with a student, your house smells good. It's all about impression. And then, you know, really in depth is about what's in their music book. When a parent goes through the music book, they're going to see the effort that you put in. So guys, that's your mission. I will put in this video. I'll do a list of all these things I just talked about. And then I think I'll put it in the description too. So you can go back to that to see all those things I want you to have ready before you take on more students. And then I dare you to take that green ad that I made. I dare you to print it out, and I want you to post that on your Facebook every day. Every day. No explanation. Just stick it as a photograph on your Facebook for 3 weeks. Every day for 3 weeks. Let me know what happens. You're going to be very surprised. And if it doesn't happen, so what? You're just going to have to stick to it and have tenacity, and don't be afraid, and just start attracting people to you by these wonderful, colorful posts. Maybe you could make 2 posts. Maybe take the green one that I made and make it be pink. It doesn't matter. Just be creative. Become an artist musician. That's what they're coming to your house for. That's why you're going to make some money and do really well teaching. If you play, you can teach what you know. You can keep ahead of a 10-year-old on Wild Thing, and on Itsy Bitsy Spider, and on Iron Man, and on Wipeout. You can probably stay ahead of a 10-year-old learning guitar for the first time. So those are some things to aim for. So guys, that's about all I've got to say for today. I tried to keep it short. So until next video, which will be next week, 'cause I'm trying to post real consistently or YouTube. I'm just going to say it like I always end every video. Over and out.